Hi, everyone. Welcome to That CBD Show. I'm Christy Burkhead, and with me is Drew Burkhead. Today, we are going to start with talking just a little bit about some things in the news.
Yeah, well, we're just going to kind of cover some things, generally recap, talk about what's been happening in our little circle of the world we've had in CBD.
Yeah.
And we've had a couple of guest speakers on in the last couple of weeks, so that's been fun to have that.
It's been really nice.
Little change of pace just to, pepper out some other new information or different information. Some people in the same vein of thought and working with things that are just, natural and helpful to people. But so we're just going to kind of recap some of the things. We're going to look at some of our Facebook posts, what we've been doing, updates on websites, that kind of thing. Just have a little fun today, just some of our own dialogue and what we've been doing. So with that, I'll just start with a little bit of news. So recently there's been some activity in Florida with some legislation taking place. And I think probably it gets a little confusing for people if you track this a little bit. The federal farm bill getting passed and that really opening up interstate commerce for hemp and a lot of things.
And hemp-derived products as well.
Surrounding hemp and hemp-derived products, including CBD. That really opened things up and clarified that, declassified some things. Yeah. But then states have their own laws, rules, regulations, and ways that they want to control things. So now what's happening is that's kind of coming through. So we'll just start with Florida. So just recently there's been some legislation that was submitted and passed by the Senate Agricultural Committee, Senate Bill 1020. And this was really clarifying and allowing the legality of sale of hemp products and hemp-derived products and CBD. So that did pass. It has to go through the Senate Rules Committee, and it has to go through a few series of looks.
The Florida State Senate.
Yeah,
right, it does,
And then it's got to ultimately hit the Senate floor. And then the House is also looking at legislation as well at the same time, and they've got some things that they're doing in writing. In one instance, they're actually looking at an amendment that doesn't allow CBD. So if anybody's tracking that, again, that'll cause a little bit of confusion.
I think, the way I understand it, once hemp is legal to be grown in Florida, then hemp-derived products are really right on the tail of that. And I don't see how state legislature can say that farmers can't grow hemp in Florida when, tobacco and corn are kind of, on the down. And I think it would save a lot of farmers. I don't see that.
Oh, yeah. Well, it is grown.
I don't see that being, something that the legislature would actually do.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see that. I mean, we'll take a look at kind of what's happening across, some of the other states and what the dominoes are that are falling. But there are ways to voice your opinion if you want to voice your opinion about this, if this is important to you to have access to this. You can, one place we recommend going is U.S. Hemp Roundtable. You can Google U.S. Hemp Roundtable, and Jonathan Miller is the lead attorney there, and he's running the cause and the fight in all these instances, not just
every state. Florida. He's moving around every state as this comes up.
Yeah. And on their website, they have they actually have a map that you can click on in your state, and they have pre-designed forms and ways that you can send a letter to your
congressman,
your senators and your representatives to let them know your opinion.
And really important to do that if this is something that matters to you.
Yeah, I've done it. I mean, whether you're taking the CBD or not, I think it's more so about just freedom and access to Mother Nature and
right. It's a plant,
and we won't get into like the agroeconomy and that part of it. To your point, because tobacco and corn are on the decline, and this is hemp's a great solution for
Yeah, and there's so many
grow.
things that you can make with it that are benefit to everyone, not just CBD, but multitudes of other things.
Oh, like 25,000 different products or more that can be made from it. So
building materials and plastics, replacing
concrete,
plastics. Yeah,
in Europe
crazy.
they make hempcrete, they call it. And so this is one of many
things. We could be a little more self-sustaining in the United States. Yeah.
But there is, there's still ripple effect. There's still learning. In fact, in our universe, you were working with the doctor group that is a distribution group for this product, and a very prominent group down there. And they're actually in Sarasota, when I say down there.
Yeah.
And so in Sarasota recently, there was some press, and it was out there that you couldn't have CBD.
Yeah,
and you had kind of a story because
I got an email from a doctors group there that does represent the Zalease, and I work with them closely, and they were flipping out because the news report was that the police department was actually going to go in and I think the way the article read was arrest anyone who was selling CBD without a marijuana permit. And these doctors don't sell marijuana. They're not involved in that. They just offer the hemp-based CBD from Zalease, the Ultracell. So they were flipping out, thinking how embarrassing would that be if they're, in their office and the police come in.
That's just what's happening in the world.
So
I think
they
it's
were
good to talk about.
Yeah, they were.
Here they are.
What should
Nobody
we do?
wants to lose their. This is a big group.
Big group. Really,
They pulled their stuff off.
They did. They kind of put it down and quietly, but then they did take it upon themselves to contact the police department.
And this is where it gets really interesting.
And so the police department told them, look, we aren't going out and looking for you. We're not going to doctors' offices. We're not doing that. The only way we would ever come in is if there was a complaint filed about someone, who failed a drug test or something by something that you sold in your practice. They said, we're not looking for you. We're not coming in there. Feel free to do whatever it is you want to do. And you can take the hemp across state lines. You can move it. That's fine because of the federal law. And they fully expected the police officer they talked to, he said, we fully expect this to be cleared up in a few weeks in Congress. The bill is there. So the officers knew all about it and really aren't, they're just not actively trying to do it. The article was a little bit exaggerated and in the media. And the officer said, look, we don't want to go in and put tell doctors. And the worst thing we would do would be to come in and say, you have to stop. We're not arresting anyone. We're not doing that. It was all overblown. We just may have to say, look, you can't do this for now because there was a complaint. But that's the only way that they would even approach a business or a doctor's office or something like that. Because we have lots and lots of physicians, Sarasota all over, that do have the Ultracell in their office and offer it to their patients. So it was a concern. So they're back at it now and feeling relatively, comfortable with it, but they're closely watching the bill in Congress and what's happening because they're very interested in it. They do well with it. They sell a lot of it in their office and it helps their patients a lot. They're actually doing some studies with it for different issues and ailments, and and they're enjoying it and really liking it. So they want to keep going. But yeah, it's been a little touch and go for them. They were scared. So yeah.
Well, we so let's jump to our Facebook page.
Okay. Yeah.
If we can do that and take a look at what we've been up to, and other things. And so I think John can kind of cast that up. So I wanted to look at what we have been posting and what we've been busy on. So this is our Fit Family CBD website page, Facebook page, Fit Family at Fit Family CBD. So you can certainly go here, follow this page. We post a lot of information, and so let's just take a look at what we did and why we do it. So this post I have up here, this was just the most recent one, and I put this up here. And what I was saying was, everybody shows you see online and on Instagram and Facebook and internet and everywhere the shiny bottles of CBD, the pictures and everything.
Right.
But what about the back of the bottle?
Right.
that really is what you should
This is the most critical place on the bottle.
Yeah, really what you should be looking at. So that's where everything is at. And what I pointed out on this post was this QR code that's on the back of these bottles, specifically back of these Ultracell bottles that we have, this QR code. And I put up a couple of pictures here, and it says this product meets or exceeds all federal guidelines for industrial hemp and independently verified to contain less than 0.0% THC prior to bottling. And if you scan this QR code on the back of this bottle, what it does is it pulls up the actual independent third-party study of the hemp that goes into the product. And
it's really amazing.
Yeah. And it'll show the THC content. And in the instance of Ultracell, you're always finding it's less than 0.0%. But it'll show you the actual...
It does, and it actually shows you some other things, too, that I think are interesting, or at least it used to.
Well, it doesn't show necessarily any of the other additives.
Doesn't show the heavy metals or anything.
But what it's specifically looking at is the
THC?
Yeah. But this is really important, like going back to doctors and groups. We work with in a lot of wholesale programs with doctors and retailers. And where you want to keep yourself safe, of course, is that you want to know what the product is that you have. And if somebody were to walk in and say, can you show me, improve the THC content of the CBD that you have or the full spectrum hemp that you have, because 0.3% or less are the legal limits. If you don't have that to show, then it's potential that you might put yourself
in some jeopardy,
at risk. Yeah. So what are you going to do? Are you going to have a piece of paper that comes along with each shipment, and you try to tie it into what? I mean, how do you keep yourself safe? And in this instance, with this bottle, with this product, they put that QR code right on the bottle, so there's no question, and it scans and goes right to the batch. And interestingly enough, the backdrop of this is that this was written for the state of Indiana.
Right.
Because the state of Indiana was one of those states that was, no CBD.
Right.
And then the U.S. Hemp Roundtable came in, worked with all of the top-level government in Indiana, and got that changed, got all that information and education out there, changed all their viewpoint, and said, well, let's work on the labeling system and put that QR code in. So that's pretty cool, and that's why I had put that up there. Of course, that's the legislation that we're talking about. So let's just take a look at some of the other.
It's definitely something to look for when you're buying a CBD. Here's some photos that we have up here. That was Dr. K. We had him on the show. It was Dr. K. That's an event that we had. That's Lily and I flexing at the gym. But a couple weeks ago, we had Melissa Golden on with Stem Cellex. That was pretty cool. We had her on to learning about stem cells and.
Yeah, just have another conversation with someone that is out there doing good things from in a natural way. So that was good. We've got a post up here about why lifting weights can be so potent for aging well. I just put that up there because in the spirit of Fit Family CBD.
Right. We all lift weights in our house.
There's not one silver bullet, to maintain your health. It's all over
balance again.
All over balance, and we're definitely big about incorporating, lifting weights in that. We were talking about other states. I had some posting up here, like California. They had some great news in California just within the last couple of weeks, where they are, pushing through the approval and clarification of CBD. So we had some of that up there.
Wyoming as well.
Yeah, here's another one, Wyoming. Big win in Wyoming, where U.S. Hemp Roundtable went in and worked with the legislation there and got some things, got everything cleared up there. So we post some things about product launches that we have. So we launched Ultra Burn here just
we talked
this year.
about that.
And we're still waiting to get Ultra Burn by April 15th, I think, is when we're going to get it in our hands. But Ultra Burn, and we did a show on this not too long ago,
just on the Ultra Burn,
dedicated to Ultra Burn, really breaking down what's inside of it. What it is it's a weight management product, and I want to give it credit. It's not a weight loss product, although that's
happening.
The feedback that we're getting as people are talking about appetite control and seeing pounds come off and really helping them. But it's a natural balancer, working with the ECS system too,
Right.
specifically.
Balances insulin and some other hormonal things that
You've seen some
make
great
it,
stuff.
I have seen some, some great things. Our friend in Indiana just on the Ultra Burn for 2 weeks lost 7 pounds, and she didn't do anything else. It just helped her with her portion size and I'm sorry, and her, her just general appetite, and she wasn't overeating anymore, and she wasn't snacking between meals, and she's dropped 7 pounds in 2 weeks.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it just balanced her. So she had something going on. She wasn't an overeater or an inactive person. She just had something going on, and she couldn't seem to really change her weight. And the CBD helped a little bit, but when she added the Ultra Burn, it really did it. So I put something on our website for everybody out there on Fit Family CBD that we're taking pre-orders for the Ultra Burn now. And you do have to wait to get it, because we're not really supposed to get our shipment until after April 15th. But for anyone that does order the Ultra Burn, pre-order it, we're including a little 7-day challenge bottle, a little mini bottle of the UltraCell CBD with it.
Okay.
Just, because I really think that the boosters are designed to be boosters. I'm sure we know that they work well on their own, but if you add a regular dose of the CBD, or even just a little half a dose of the CBD with it, I think you're going to see, substantially exponential benefits from it. So that's why, to encourage people to try the Ultra Burn and then get on the UltraCell. So we're doing that as a thank you for the pre-orders.
Absolutely. I was going to say the same thing. When these work together, like with the full spectrum, the full spectrum hemp inside of our UltraCell product, you take the whole plant because it creates the entourage effect. Right. And then take that into the other product lines where you add a burn or edge or a dream, for sleep support or whatever those are. Yeah, all plant-based. Then you get the entourage effect. So now you have all these different plants working together. Yep. And we always say drugs have side effects.
Plants have side benefits.
I don't know why they call it side effects. They're just effects. But, and plants have side benefits. Right. That's what happens. So that's cool. So that's on Fit Family CBD. We'll take a look at that. We had Maria Melick on, and we talked about essential oils. That was interesting.
She was lovely. Yeah, that was neat.
I just never really gave it that much of a thought.
But it really, some of the stories that she told us, on air a couple weeks ago were really amazing for what kind of, I just had no idea how much smell had to do with our emotional stress, our body's just general balance. I had no idea. Okay. So I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, of course. You start to realize the terpenes and the olfactory senses and you walk into a bakery and you smell that and immediately.
Yeah.
If you're in a bad mood, I think you're immediately like...
You feel better. Yeah. You get that. It's that comfort smelling chocolate. Yeah, absolutely.
The Cinnabon effect.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes me want to shop more at the mall.
We had another post up here. I captured this one, and because I already knew from a Penn study done in 2017 where they analyzed CBD products on the shelves, and they found that 70% of CBD products online and on the shelves are mislabeled. And so that's a big deal. And then this came across here because it's a self-governing group right now. There does need to be more control around it. I will thoroughly support that. And that's why we continue to fall back on the product line that we do, because it's so extremely important to know where everything's coming from and what you're,
right.
So 70% mislabeled is...
Yeah, people can make this stuff in their bathroom.
I think so.
Yeah, well, I think you told me an interesting story about something that was discovered in Gelcaps.
Yeah. Well, that was one of the posts up here. So this was Dr. Oz in a group, and they went out to Los Angeles, and they went out to, there were some other places, Los Angeles and New Jersey.
Okay.
But they went and captured a lot of product on the shelves and just did their own self-study. And one of the gel capsules that they pulled just off the shelf had E. coli in it, tested for E. coli.
That's super scary. So
that's bad.
Knowing where your product is coming from and what is in it is critical, right? Because like you said, it's a self-regulating industry right now, which means it's it's not.
Yeah, so be careful, with what you're doing out there. We've had a previous show we dedicated to massage therapists because we talked quite a bit about our Ultracell topical,
right?
Which we get continue to just get tremendous
feedback.
Results from it. I was answering a post a few days ago with a lady because I was explaining that the CBD won't enter the bloodstream.
Right?
Yeah, the hemp won't enter the bloodstream. The skin won't allow it. Anybody's welcome to let me know that what I have read and researched about it is wrong. But everything that I read and research is that the skin is the barrier, and it's not going to allow it to enter the bloodstream. But at the same token, you have CB receptors in your skin.
In the skin.
So that mechanism.
Largest organ. Yeah.
Yeah, and what the purpose of the CBD at the skin level to do is doing that. I mean, it's acting at the dermis level, but it's not getting into
right.
The
but it does seem to really help people with arthritis and muscle and
sore, whatever,
sore muscles and it's amazing.
Healing and post surgeries and those kinds of things.
Tennis elbow.
Yeah, it's super easy, and you can just put it on. There's about 30 different ingredients in the product that we have that are just all have a specific reason and all work together.
Right.
I wanted to cover one of the posts that we did about esports and gamers. I really did like that show.
Okay.
That's one that I think that's just a whole market of I don't want to say youth because I think spans all age ranges, but just, individuals, such a growing market, such a...
Yeah, I noticed looking at a university that we have been considering that they actually have a new major that is game development. Sorry, it's a little side note, but I thought that was really cool. I said, wow, okay, a major top tier university, and they have a degree program that's based on game development.
Yeah, game playing was different when I was in college.
Sure.
I
had Pong and Space Invaders.
Yeah. So, John was awesome at Pong, too.
Our producer back there.
Yeah, but I really like this show. We talked about the edge quite a bit because there's the energy drink market, and if anybody has noticed, that has blossomed, and huge, so many different monsters and, whatever. And I like to have one. I do. I like to have one. I don't have as much as the... some people do out there, but every now and then I do.
But they are good.
But for a sustainable basis, on a daily basis, if you're really pulling for energy and you don't want to be pumping a lot of chemicals and things into your body, the Edge is definitely something to consider. Right. In fact, we're doing a promotion. We have Nerdite group here.
I'm a Nerdite.
Yeah. So
we have no new cards.
Yeah, the Nerdite group. So we're going to partner with the Nerdite group, and we're actually going to add a little bit of a discount specifically on the Edge product because it's a natural product that gives you cognitive stimulation, and it really puts you in a focus place, and it's not a let's wake up the body jittery place,
and no crash.
Yeah, and there's no crash behind it, and you can use it with the other products, and again, you get that entourage effect. You can use it with sleep, so you can get all that stamina and awareness and focus that you want. But then recovery, is good too because you're gonna get your rest and not have the crash.
And the Nerdite that comes from Nerd Talk, which is another show on this station. I think. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
So we covered that. And why don't we jump over then to our Fit Family website?
Okay.
So this is our fitfamilycbd.com website, and I did a little bit of a update on here. So you can see at the top, the Ultra Burn won't ship out until April. Again, we think that's going to be April 15th or after. But the reason to go ahead and pre-order there again is to have one of our 7-day challenges included with that, so you get 7 days of the Ultracell for free.
Right, and be one of the first to get it, because typically when new products launch, there can be a little bit of lag time, after that first shipment goes out. So I can ensure that people actually get their order in a timely manner when they do the pre-order. Yeah,
and we've had a lot of pre-orders come in, which is cool. So we make sure we communicate with you when you come in when the order is placed, and make sure we reach out and reaffirm, hey, we have your order, and everything's in place, and we'll get it out to you.
I like talking to our CBD customers. Yeah.
Well, we have our website up, and as we kind of scroll down, there's a kind of a cool video here that we produced here, commercial that's with Christy and our daughter Lily. So that's kind of a neat spot there, and you can get a little taste of what the Ultracell Challenge is. We talk about that. That's a 7-day trial size, if you will.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it.
Now, just understand that 7 days doesn't always give you enough time. You know, you may want to up it a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, most experience something sometimes 24 hours, sometimes 15 minutes.
Yeah.
But sometimes, you know, after 7 days, you may not experience.
Well, you know, for me, it didn't. I didn't notice anything in 7 days. It took a couple of weeks before I really noticed something.
Yeah,
so.
and we actually had to. And this was in our early days. We didn't know much. You know, we were learning our own way, but you actually had to up your dose.
I did. And, you know, so I always tell people we're learning more and more about CBD in general. Any CBD that you take, the best avenue to take is to start low and slow with it. One, there's no reason to waste product, and you may be someone that doesn't need a full dose of whatever it is that you're taking, as long as you're comfortable with what you're taking. But especially with the Ultracell, I'm starting people now on just a half a dose. Now, I wasn't one of those people. I did a full dose for a week or 10 days, nothing. I didn't notice anything, no benefit in sleep, nothing. Once I doubled my dose and started doing 2 a day, one in the morning and one, you know, late afternoon, then within a couple of days, my sleep got better. My dreams got a little weird for a while until I adjusted to it, but it took me a while. So 7 days is a nice, you know, middle of the road. You know, a lot of people will really notice a benefit in that time, but not everyone. So, you know, if you don't, it might be something you want to just keep at it, keep trying, because I know we understand that it can take up to 3 months for some people to really get their ECS recharged. So.
Yeah. So, and the other thing is that when you're taking this, you're getting 14.47 milligrams average absorbed, and that's big. And you got to look at the dosage and what you're getting absorbed. With this absorption technology, it's huge. Mm-hmm. On our website, one thing that's really cool I did was updated our free CBD buying checklist. So you can go to our website and your name, email address. We don't spam you. We don't do that. But it gives you a chance to download our 6-point bullet checklist. It's very informational. Use it as a buyer's guide when you're looking at CBD and going to buy products. So
really, really good. I love that. I use it anytime I'm looking or helping someone else find something. So, well, that's about all the time we have today. So it was really fast and fun. Everybody, thank you so much for watching that CBD show, and we will see you next time.